Like I say, I don't. There were probably like four or five different Indians. I was working with one of the Indians groups, or at least two or three. Like I said, I used to run the Aztecs and all that other stuff, and I was working with Indians and stuff like that. So, and had good trading. Like I said, the Indians would go and they would kill the buffalo or kill the animals, and basically, and then they would trade the furs and the skins with my people, basically, from over the country. And like I said, also I had people going up into the snow and stuff like that. So there was lots of trade happening between me and the Indians. And the Indians would also go on hunting parties and hunt for animals. And they wouldn't kill too many animals. They would, take off the they were basically expert hunters for me and stuff like that. And so there was a good amount of, the Indians and the colonists were all working together. The Indians were a hunter group, and a lot of people wanted to be Indians. A lot of people were proud of the Indians. There was this time when to be an Indian or to be a hunter was a very pride. A lot of people wanted to be like them, and because they were a great group, you know, they lived in the wilderness, and they lived off the land, and they also hunted and stuff like that, and they worked with the colonists. So there was that point in time in human history, and in what you consider the history of the earth. And like I say, um, so when people were saying that the Indians were killing the colonists and everything else like that, I had a hard time believing that because of the fact that unless the colonists were attacking the Indians, I had a hard time believing that there was this thing because, like I said, the colonists and the Indians had worked together for a very long time. So I didn't really understand it. Anyway, though, like I said, there's a lot of things that happened basically, though. Um, and like I said, a lot of people were telling me this, telling me that, and it's like, anyway, though, like I said, leaves a lot of room. There's a lot of room in time and space and history for a lot of bad things or a lot of people to do things. I don't really understand why anybody would be hunting down the Indians, and I don't understand why the Indians would be hunting down the colonists. They were different societies and civilizations and all that other stuff. Although both had beautiful women and stuff like that. And I was doing a breeding program or breeding programs to intermix the breeding and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, 7,000 or billion people, million people, and that leaves a lot of room for and like I said, also there was Rodney going, Admiral Rodney, and I'll be your eyes, your nose, your ears, and it's like, I have professionals that work for me, Rodney. I don't need my eye, you to be my eyes or my dick or my nose or someone else to be my ears, my senses out there in the world. Um, I have professionals. I have educated people that don't treat me like a child. It's like I'm not a child. I wasn't a child. I was like, I'm Lucifer. What the? What are you nuts? Anyway, I was like, get out of here. And Rodney and Rick Bush were like, well, nobody will ever know what we said to him. No one will ever. We'll keep this to our death. And it's like, 800 galaxies and a galaxy that is very much coming towards us right now, and 12 types of life forms. The human race is only one of them. Females, males, exoskeletons, 1.5s, some acid form life forms that could live, that breathe this atmosphere, and quite a few other life forms actually. Like I said, I also created some life forms that were very dangerous. Well, it's because I knew that the human race or somebody was going to be hunting down my life forms, so I was like, let's see them take out these. So on some of the planets, they shouldn't go anywhere though. They basically should stay where they are. So anyway, because I knew that they would be, and at some point in time, I said, well, there's some life forms that are really dangerous out there. I was really worried about people trying to kill them off, so I created them as well. So anyway, yeah, you and at some point in time, I told the humans, I was like, you probably don't want to go wandering too much in space because, like, I think like somewhere in one of the galaxies, like it was a long ways away. It'd take you a long time to get to them, and it'd take them a long time to get to Earth or humanity, basically. So I was like, well, anyway, yeah, somewhere way out there, there were some life forms that I created that were like really dangerous, you know. So anyway, FYI, well, it's because somebody was gonna hunt down my life form. So I created some life forms that would be very hard to kill. Anyway, I don't know. I forget. I'm not exactly even sure what they were. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, though, yeah, Anyway, eventually this would hit humanity or the human existence like a ton of bricks. And it's like, well, eventually they'll get here, I suppose. And I'm pretty sure the exoskeletons already got here. Something like that. Anyway, whatever. I don't really know. Like I said, it's like, well, there's all this information that you probably want to know or you probably need to know. And it's like, well, anyway, 1960 or 19 something. Anyway, and then there's all these other people. Blah, 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 politics, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, whatever. Anyway, yeah. I was very busy over the hundreds of trillions of billions of years. So, anyway, like I say, whatever. I don't really care. That's why the human race was trying to get the bigger stick and was going for weapons of war and mass destruction and all that stuff. It's like, or at least why the American government was doing it, because they're like, they were lying about everything and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, yeah, good luck with that. So anyway, like I said, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me exactly per se, but I mean, it's like, well, I was very busy. So anyway, though, yeah. And I had a lot of wonderful people. Snuggles and hugs. Kiss your forehead kisses. And love to little children. So anyway. Whatever.